Welcome back. Many Maryland farmers struggle to afford upgrades to deal with changing climate and industry. During the Biden administration, the Inflation Reduction Act, passed with bipartisan support, promised money to farmers to make environmental upgrades, and some Maryland farmers were counting on that money. However, the Trump administration has been freezing and even cutting federal spending, and it has targeted the Inflation Reduction Act. That leaves some Maryland farmers in limbo. Right now, we're joined by reporters Sapna Bansal and Adam Willis from our media partner, the Baltimore Banner. They just filed a report on how this funding freeze is shaking these farmers' trust in government. Good to see you both. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.
Let's start with, what are the farmers telling you about what they were promised and what they've actually received?
Sure. So these are farmers who have historically, for many years, counted on government funding to help start their farms, as well as grow and scale their operations. It could be for big, expensive projects like solar panels that help the environment, help reduce energy costs at a farm, as well as smaller projects that are still crucial, things that help block the wind from damaging crops, or things that help grow crops in winter months so that they can make money during winter months, basically. So yeah, those are some of the things that the farmers really rely on the government for.
And have they gotten any of this money that they were promised?
In some cases, they've gotten some partial payments, but I think, in a lot of these cases, there's a specific and meaningful portion of the money that sort of remains frozen, and the farmers are not, they're sort of struggling to get answers from government officials, from sort of people that have been working with on these projects, to get clarity on what's happening with the money.
Yeah, I'll just add, we spoke with one farmer in Montgomery County who he was just telling me yesterday, before the story published, he's been going back and forth with a USDA staffer to get information. And basically every time he goes to the staffer, he said the staffer's been very helpful, or tries to be very helpful. But every time the staffer says, "I'm sorry, I don't have any more information for you," this particular farmer is waiting on something around $50,000 worth of funding for solar panels on his farm. So it's a very significant amount of money to him and to his farm.
Yeah, as I said at the beginning, these farmers, they work on very thin margins here. So the Department of Agriculture has a new secretary overseeing the USDA as well, Brooke Rollins. What is she saying about the promised Inflation Reduction Act money? Have we heard from her at all?
Yeah, we have. Brooke Rollins was only confirmed, I think, 2 weeks ago. So she's pretty recently into the job. As you said, a lot of these projects that are affected here are coming through the Inflation Reduction Act, the big climate bill that passed under the Biden presidency. Her office did move last week, end of last week, to release $20 million of that Inflation Reduction Act funding that had been frozen. That amounts to a small portion, a small fraction of all of the affected money here. But it's really not clear whether that's going to be sort of the beginnings of just kind of putting that money back on track, or if that's going to be sort of an exception, and the rest of that money remains holed up. One of the people that we spoke with was with the Maryland Farm Bureau, and he pointed to that step last week and felt like it was a step in the right direction. But really, I think a lot of people are just looking for clarity right now. They don't know what to make of the signals that they're getting from Washington.
Yeah, and you profile some really interesting small farmers just trying to survive in your very good report. Thank you for joining us, Sapna and Adam. We do appreciate it. And if you would like to read their report and more independent, interesting reporting from our media partner, the Baltimore Banner, just go to thebaltimorebanner.com. Derek.